Welcome back. Ed Martin here on the Pro America Report. Don't forget proamericareport.com. You can get every one of these great interviews that I'm doing available there. Please go and check them out. Great to be here. Now, let me get some emails. I got some emails from people. Here was an email yesterday evening. It was actually a text from one of our listeners. He listens in Orange County. I believe he goes to theanswersandiego.com and listens online. But he sent me this story, ran in the New York Times and everywhere else. Turns out, you're going to love this, the Chinese made one of the very popular gifts in the last while has been an awesome drone. I guess it's a really cool drone with a camera on it, and it's been sold. Tons of product moved. Tons of these drones sold. It turns out, this is stunning to believe, isn't it, that cybersecurity researchers dug into it, and the drone made in China has security problems and is, probably collecting large amounts of personal information that could be exploited. So at this point, is there any doubt? Is there any doubt? We got the Chinese communists. They're doing a spy ring out of the Houston consulate, probably everywhere else. They got TikTok, which they're using to mine data on Americans. And now they have a drone, one of the most popular drones. So the answer, it was Jason, who lives up near Los Angeles in Orange County, I think. Jason sent that to me. We don't need more evidence, right? We're in the middle of what is completely, clearly a 100% Cold War, the second Cold War. And, we just have to get over it. All right, here's another thing I want to bring up to you, how readily we are being lied to. And again, earlier in the show, I talked to how powerful the media is and what they're doing, the fake news. Here's a story in the New York Times, a very powerful story about two brothers and sisters, two people, a brother and a sister, who died at 20 years old and 22 years old. And you read the story and you're like, oh my gosh, what a sad thing in Florida. The brother got it, he died. A few weeks later, the sister got it, she died. Unbelievable. It's devastating. And then you go read the story, and the story, it takes you about 20 paragraphs to get to the paragraph. And first they show a picture, and then they tell you the facts. So the pictures of the two of them is they're massively obese. Now, that's not, I don't mean to be mean. I mean to be descriptive about what happens. They're massively obese. And also they had, at least one of them, the sister, had chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder. And they both, I think, may have had asthma. And so my point here is, when you write a story about how potent the coronavirus is and the Wuhan virus, you have to be careful about the fatalities, because the fatalities, if you have those disorders and you get a bad flu, you'll also die from that. Now, I'm not saying that the Wuhan virus is the flu. I'm saying be careful how you're being spun by the media on these issues, because they are definitely spinning us dramatically. And again, my wife and I talk about this frequently. There's other aspects, though, of the Wuhan virus, and I read an article on this subject, too. The Wuhan virus also, it doesn't always kill people, but it can have lasting impacts. It's not a minor disease, right? Some people end up with diminished lung capacity, even some heart disease and heart failure afterwards. They may live, but they're dramatically impacted. So we need to be careful. But man alive, the New York Times is out to spin us, and it's amazing. So thank you for one of the people that sent me an inquiry on the statistics behind the Wuhan stuff. There you have it. Okay. I want to finish today by highlighting something. I want to be careful how I do it, because I don't want to be too dramatic about it. But I just want to tell you that I can't be more disappointed. I did not watch it tonight because I was so frustrated by it. And that is this. Today, the Nationals, the Washington Nationals, kicked off their first season since they won the World Series. Extraordinary victory, some wonderful players, and they won last year. And they're having their opening day, I think I've told you, against the New York Yankees. They had it earlier tonight. And it's a big deal. And they opened up and they threw out the first pitch is being thrown out by not the President of the United States, not a U.S. Senator, not the Congresswoman who represents D.C. There's a Eleanor Norton, Holmes Norton, or I think that's her name. None of those people. It's going to be Dr. Fauci. And Dr. Fauci is going to be out there and he's going to throw out the first pitch. Now, here's my point on this. I don't hold any grudge against Dr. Fauci. I mean, I think he's been wrong a lot. He's also been right a lot. I'm not saying he's wrong all the time, but he's been trotted out by the liberal media and the fake news media as the definitive commentator on everything. And, he wasn't elected to anything. In fact, more troubling than anything to me is the way the media is trying to pit him against everybody else, including the president. But the biggest problem I have is what kind of mindset would you have to think that it's a good idea to throw out the first pitch? Last week he did the cover story of In Style magazine. There was a famous picture of him now by his pool with sunglasses on. And I just thought to myself, doesn't look like a public servant, doesn't look like a career physician serving. I'm not judge. I don't know his heart. I don't know. I can't read his mind. But it just says to me, really poor judgment. And it reminds me of this. The biggest obstacle to folks, I think, understanding what role they play is actually not the cancel culture, although that's something else we talk about a lot, but the celebrity culture. Why is it that people don't sort of understand how they fit into these things? And I guess it's because when you're close to it, you have a blind spot. So somebody like him, maybe he grew up in New York, I think. He grew up in New York, and I think I remember he was Brooklyn Dodgers fan or something. But I do think I remember reading that he was a Nats fan since the Nats came here, to his home city where he lives. But my point is, how is that good? How is it good for him to do that? And what is it that he thinks about to think that's a good idea? It just seems really off to me, really, really off base. And I wish he hadn't done it. And it makes me not want to watch. And my answer to you is I would not tune in. If I were you, I would not have tuned in. Some people probably did, but I did not tune in, and I won't tune into that kind of stuff. I told you, I'm tuning out. I'm trying to find more ways to tune out, turn it off, and cut the cord from that stuff. So I hope you will too. All right, that's enough for today. We'll be back tomorrow. Thank you for listening. Thank you to Noah, our fearless technical director, for everything he does. Joanna for helping book our guests, and don't forget, go to proamericareport.com, sign up for our email, and be on top of things, and go to theanswerssandiego.com for the podcast. Have a great night, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow.